Yeah, biggest thing right now is the guys are playing fast. I think we've modified a bunch of things with our schedule and our operation that I think have really helped our players both sides of the ball. I think our wide receivers are running around. I think our tight ends are making plays. I think we're blocking well. And again, just holistically, offensively, I think we got some great run schemes going. I think we got some great concepts on the perimeter that we plan to utilize and do all those different things. We got competition really at every position. So it's a constant evaluation, and it's really exciting to see our guys continue to grow and learn our scheme.
All right, Wes, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, when you look at the players that you have in your position room, one guy that's going to be very familiar to Showboats fans would be Joseph Skates. Talk a little bit about Joe and how he's been able to grow his game under your tutelage.
Yeah, no, we're excited about all of our wide receivers being here, and Joe obviously being a Memphis player. We're continuing to grow him as well as all of our wide receivers right now. And that competition at his position right now is really hot. So I'm excited to see Joe work every day in addition to all the other receivers.
James?
Hey TJ, it's good to see you. Glad to have you back in the league with the Showboats. Yeah, I figured if you could talk a little bit more about that competition that you have there in the wide receiver room, where you're bringing back a couple of key faces, such as obviously Dawood Davis after an All UFL campaign. D. Anderson's a guy that really flashed a lot of potential late in the year. Jonathan Adams is back, but again, bunch of new faces in there. How's that room looking?
Yeah, so it's and great to finally see your face there, James. But no, it's a combination of some faces that I've worked with before in the past, as well as some new guys that I'm working with. I'm really excited about the competition level of all of these guys, and it's kind of unique. We kind of have a basketball team of body types. We have some big guys, we have some smaller guys, we have some guys that are red zone possession guys, we have some guys with speed. So it's going to be really exciting as we continue to develop through training camp and see kind of where those pieces may lie. But I'm really excited about the returning vets that we have. I'm excited about our new acquisitions, and the competition is hot, and it's going to continue to get hotter.
No doubt. And looking at the tight end room, that's a room that's going to have a lot of different faces in it too, with Sage Surratt now coming back. You picked up Chris Pierce, Jacob Warren, Ryan Izzo. How are those guys looking so far, and what are you expecting out of maybe, Warren and Pierce in the receiving game, as those guys have a pretty solid history of being a little bit more of like a wide receiver tight end hybrid?
Yeah, so we have some guys that have actually played some true tight end fullback, and Chris is a unique guy because he was a wide receiver that has become a tight end at this point in time. So I believe he's the only guy that we kind of have in full transition. Not that he hasn't had experience in the NFL, but it's really exciting to see those guys run routes and make blocks and all that. I think that's really the ultimate test of who we are as an offense. Are we going to have more called runs at a certain personnel groups or passes? Are we going to use tight ends more in flex positions? Are we going to use them more to block? So those are all questions we're looking to answer as we continue to progress through training camp.
Right on. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, James.
Go ahead, Pat.
Coach, thank you for jumping on doing this. Big question I had, Coach. You obviously bring in Lee Morris and whatnot, guy you've been around for 2 years. Can you talk about that relationship and the process it's been, and to wide receivers coach and a guy that how did that process really?
Yeah, so Coach Wiz hired me, obviously, and then we talked about positions that we wanted to fill on our staff. And I immediately thought of Luke Ferdinand and Lee Morris. Lee, I've had a ton of familiarity with. Obviously, I've worked with him 2 years. Essentially, I was his coach because I had my hands in pretty much every position over the course of my time with the New Orleans Breakers and the Memphis Showboats. But I always saw potential in Lee, and that he had the ability to lead and grow. And I can tell you so many different times that he's bailed me out of trouble being a late sub, going in and scoring touchdowns. I mean, he's a fantastic guy to work with. I love his energy, and I love what he brings to the table, and I'm really excited about his growth. And hopefully one day I get to say I got to hire guys like Lee and Luke Ferdinand. And let me talk a little bit about Luke too, and everybody calls him Ferd, but Ferd has been absolutely fantastic. He was actually on our staff with the New Orleans Breakers as well, but he served in a variety of different roles for us. He's extremely intelligent. I'm really excited about his growth and pairing him again, kind of with Coach Turner and all those guys. So we have a lot of familiarity, and I think that's always great. That's an asset to your organization, as especially when you have a new head coach. Again, like Coach Wisnott has great experience, but he's new to this league. But we all have familiarity with each other, and that's only going to help our bonds. The players will see us bond and grow, and that's going to help us have success on the field.
Great, Wes.
Do you feel like this year you've kind of had to
Wes, I think you broke up there. You want to try that again? I didn't hear anything.
I
Oh,
didn't hear
sorry. Sorry, I was just letting him finish his question if he wanted to. But real quick, Coach, when you look at the staff, you mentioned Coach Wisenhunt being new to the league. What are some things that you're doing to try to get the fans of Memphis excited about this 2025 Showboats team?
Yeah, and it's the first thing it starts with is building the roster. And I think some of the problems we've had in the past is we struggle to have an identity on offense. And that's a combination of a lot of things, personnel, all those different things that you factor in. And we have put a lot of time into this offseason evaluating the roster. We have a new staff now, and our biggest issue and task right now is to see how all the pieces fit. So we're using this training camp time with high value and high presence on each and every single player and our personnel, and we got to see how the pieces fit. But it's going to be an exciting offense. It's a Super Bowl winning offense that Coach Wisenhunt has brought to all of us, and I'm excited to continue to learn the nuances and coach in this system, as are all of the other coaches and players that have the opportunity to play in it.
All right, guys. Anything else for TJ?
I have one more if we have time.
Go ahead.
TJ, obviously you were a part of this Showboats organization a year ago, and like you said, not an ideal season, just offense kind of lacking identity and just across the board, not a lot of success. What are some of the things that you're noticing this staff doing that's adjusting maybe and tweaking some of those areas that needed to be tweaked a year ago?
Yeah, I think a fresh start is always a good thing. So we had some tremendous coaches here last year, and I think sometimes a new voice can bring a lot to the table, especially when it's a new system. So those guys are kind of seeing it with their eyes wide open and having a fresh new approach to how they run routes and all those different things. So I think that's going to recharge our guys both personally and as they continue to get on the field and learn and actually do those concepts. So I think having a fresh start is always needed in life and in football, and that's why football is such a great game to teach life lessons. But I think a fresh start is what everyone on this team kind of needed, and we're excited about moving forward in our new scheme and new personnel.